Hello everyone, welcome to Tutorials by Decade. My name's Decade, and today we're going to do a little bit of a shorter video. I apologize if I sound weird or funny. I have been sick, and it's had me for about a week, so I'm just now getting over it. But with that being said, I'm going to try to make this a somewhat shorter video, and we are going to work on the hitboxes for our swords. So this one doesn't require any programming yet. It will once we actually use our swords to hit something. But all we're going to do is we are going to go to our player, our sword handler. And under our sword handler, we are going to create an empty. And we're going to name this one Attack Up. Then we're going to create another one under our sword handler called Attack Left. It doesn't really matter what order you do this in as long as you know what is what. Create empty, attack down, and one more. We're going to call that one Attack Right. Now, before we go any further, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to tag them. So up here where it says tag, it says untagged. We are actually going to come down here and click add tag. And right now our list is empty, so we're going to create a brand new tag, and we're just going to call this player sword. And as the theme goes, remember how you capitalized and how you spelled everything. It is going to be important later. But we're going to come back, and now we are going to go to our 4 directions and tag them as player sword. And now we can actually begin creating what we need. So whatever one you put up top, we'll start there. You're going to click over here in the inspector, add component, and we're going to put in a polygon collider. So just go ahead and click on that. What we're going to do is we're going to go to animation, and we are going to go to whatever sword attack matches whatever this is. So this is attack up, so we're going to go to sword up. Now, if you've, in the previous videos, if you followed along, we have sword up, down, left, right, and then blue up, down, left, right. And some of you may have created, excuse me. Sorry, some of you may have created more swords. So we are going to have to do these. Well, this initial step that we're doing, we're only going to have to do once, but I'll explain to you what you're going to have to do for all the other swords here once we are done. But anyway, so this first one is attack up, so we're going to go to sword up. And if you want, play your sword up just to make sure it's the right one. Excuse me again. So now what we're going to do is we are going to create the hitbox for the sword. So you might want to zoom in a little bit more on your player. And in the polygon collider, you see this weird looking symbol here. If you click on that, you're able to actually edit that polygon. So what we want to do is we want to make it match the motion of our sword as the player swings. All right, so it's going to take a little bit of getting used to this, but like right here at the bottom here, we'll have something like this. Now, over here you should have is trigger, by the way. Now, in the name of game design, you always want to, cheat's not the right word, but you always want to favor your player. So you can see how the attack polygon here is outside of where the sword is going to be. That is okay. If you're going to, you don't want this to be perfect. A, it's going to be hard to do perfectly, and B, in a way, you do want to favor your player. Now, you don't want to make it too easy for the player, or else they'll be like, why am I even playing this? But it is perfectly okay to favor in the player's best interest. So this isn't going to be perfect, but you want to be a little bit outside of where the sword's going to swing to give your player a slight advantage. Nothing crazy. but you always want to favor in your player's favor, never against them, unless you're trying to make it an extremely difficult game. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this line to right about here, and then we're going to click and drag to the next frame of the animation. And we are going to move our line a little bit. Again, sorry. So we want to kind of go something on the lines of this. Now, if you were to go back and forth and drag these real fast, you might think that doesn't fit the sword swing. It feels like this needs to be pulled out a little bit. So the way to do that is just to click and drag, and you created another point in the polygon. So instead of 5 points, now there's 6. Right. So that looks a little bit better. So we'll move to the next animation here. And we'll put that guy right there. And then this last 2 animations are right there. So we'll make some adjustment here. But you're going to want to have something that looks like this. Now you might be asking yourself, okay, how do we actually activate that? Well, there's a few ways to do it. Way number one, you can do it with code. That might actually be the best way to do it, but the way we're going to do it is with the animation. So you want to swipe this back and forth a couple times, make sure it looks the way you want it to look. And then what you're going to do is you are going to deselect it. You're going to deactivate it, I mean. So it should be like the darker gray. Now with sword up selected, we're going to hit record. We are going to activate it. Then we're going to swipe all the way to the last frame of the animation. And then we're going to deactivate it. And then we're going to, excuse me again, then we are going to stop recording. So now, anytime the sword up animation happens, it's automatically going to activate attack up. It's going to activate that polygon collider for the length of the entire animation. And then when the animation's over, it's going to deactivate. So that is how we're going to do this. Now, again, there are different ways to do this. You could do it with code. And there's a bunch of different ways within code that you can do this. But I found this to be one of the easiest ways and one of the most convenient ways to do it. And again, you will see why later. But that's essentially all there is. We're going to move on to left now. So down here, we're going to switch to sword left. We're going to play that animation just so we get something there. And then we're just going to repeat the process. So attack left, we're going to add component, add polygon collider, and edit the collider. And we're going to have something that looks on the lines of this for the first frame. Second frame, we want to come out to here and then maybe drag that out to there. Third frame is going to look something like that. And then the rest of these frames are pretty good. So we'll just, oh, I didn't want to drag that. So Control Z. There we go. And we'll drag this to right there, which means we're going to have to adjust that a little bit, which is fine. You may have to make some adjustments. But once you are satisfied with the shape of it, again, you're going to deactivate it. You're going to go to the beginning of the animation. You're going to hit record. You're going to activate it. You're going to swipe through the entire animation, get to the last frame of the animation, deactivate it, and then stop recording. And now every time you play that animation, it will activate. And then we're going to repeat the process for down. So we're going to switch to sword down. We're going to add the component, polygon collider. We are going to smooth the animation so we get something on the screen. And we're going to edit the polygon collider. So sword down. Oh, I accidentally created one there. There we go. I'm going to bring this to about there, and this to about there. That looks good. That to about there. We'll just give a little bit of an arch. This one to right about there. And then this one to right about there. And then the rest of that animation should be good. So that would be our sword down. Let's give a little bit more leniency to our player there. There we go. And once again, deactivate, record, make sure you're on the first frame, activate, move to the last frame, deactivate, stop recording. And then we're going to do this one last time for the right. So we want to make sure we move to sword right. Add our polygon collider. Let's get our first frame in there. Edit the polygon collider. Something like that. Move to there. Add a little bit of an arch to it. And something right there. And right there. That should be all. Again, let's give a little bit of leniency to the player. There we go. So first frame, deactivate, record, activate, last frame, deactivate, and stop recording. And that's all there is to it. Now, again, if you have more than one sword, all you have to do now is go to your other sword animations and then just activate and deactivate. You don't have to mess with the polygon collider. So like we'll just start with blue down. So with blue down, we'll make sure we're on attack down. Get our sword up there. We're going to hit record. Attack down activated. Go to the last frame of the animation. Deactivate it. Stop recording. And then you're going to repeat that for every single sword that you have. You want to make sure that you record, activate, last frame, deactivate, stop recording. And might as well just keep on going for right. Record, activate, last frame, deactivate, stop recording. And then blue up, attack up, record, activate, move to the last frame, deactivate, stop recording. Once you do that for all of your swords, and you don't need to do anything for sword idle, but once you do that for all of your swords, your sword hitbox will be ready. Now, I would make sure you go through, see, I forgot to do this. I would make sure you go through all of these and make sure all of these are a trigger and not a physical collider. And what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to start adding things that you can hit with the sword that will either break, or an enemy that you can hit, or things like that. And you'll see how we can do this using code and just doing one thing of work for attack up, attack left, attack down, and attack right. Again, make sure that you have all of these labeled or tagged as player sword. And make sure that you have all of these set up as a trigger. And that is all you're going to need to do for this video, and your hitboxes are set up. So with that being said, if this video is helpful, give it the big old thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell, as I have videos like this coming out all the time. And as always, have a good day, and I will see you on the next one.